Greetings and salutations, everybody. I am Scojo Insta360. Well, I've been getting a lot of inquiries about the Insta360 One X. I've had it for five months now. And when I first came out with my reviews on my YouTube channel, I seemed to be the only one that was having it like a noose tied around my neck. Now, let me premise this that I bought the Insta360 One X. It was the most excited I'd ever been, literally, to buy a camera in my life. My experience with it in the months after are some of the worst experiences I've ever had with a camera. But, as I said in this now famous video where I said I would not buy it again if I could go back in time, I said check with me in 6 months. Well, it's been 5 months and my opinion has mostly changed, but let's talk a little bit about the things that you want to watch out for, at least take into consideration before you buy this camera. First of all, it's a great camera. I know I'm going the wrong direction here, but I just want to explain it's a great camera. I'm going to now hit you with the things that you may not know about, that you may not see coming. First of all, the accessories. The accessories are extremely hard to get your hands on. If you're gonna get a camera like this, you at very least need to get one of those venture cases so that you can wrap it in hard plastic, because if you break a lens, guess what? It costs you about $100 to get it replaced, and that's with shipping, and then you don't have your camera and stuff like that. So you do not want to scratch these lenses. So the venture cases, can you get them right now? Not from what I'm hearing. I got lucky and got one. The other big thing is that the cold weather affects the normal battery big time, okay? So don't take the normal battery out in temperatures that are, under 40 degrees essentially. Good news is I did manage to get my hands on some of the cold weather batteries, and they actually are fairly decent little batteries. I haven't just put them to the extremes of temperature, but I took them out behind a dog sled for a couple of days and they performed well, but be careful, the battery life is horrible. Now, when I first got the camera, I had horrible audio issues that were so bad that eventually we had to send the unit back. That was one of the most frustrating parts of the whole thing. What I will tell you is that the audio, no matter what, man, if you could just keep it inside a room and with no wind, it's actually decent audio. But the problem is there's wind in the outdoors and there's just not always perfect conditions. So the audio is almost not really something you want to count on. If you're planning on using audio for this, you're going to likely need to have some kind of like a Zoom H1 or some kind of external recording unit. Okay, let's see what else. Well, the one thing I will tell you is that with all the issues that we've had, the customer service is very responsive. In fact, at one point, I wrote them, they wrote back. I didn't answer for 24 hours, and I got a follow-up email saying, hey, what are you still having this issue? And so I actually liked the basic response of the customer service. The reasons why I had to use them were not my favorite, but all in all, the customer service for this company is pretty good. And the last really bad thing that I want to touch on is the menu system, the display on the camera. Now, I give them full kudos for having some kind of display on the camera, because many of them don't, and that makes it the ultra pain. That would be a deal killer for me. But the menu on this thing, is very confusing. There's no back button, so if you're going into something, you have to scroll all the way through something in order to get back to something. And then to make matters worse, you just basically can't even read the menu in any kind of normal functioning light. If it's rather shaded and indoors, you can read it and it reads quite fine, but as soon as you get it outdoors, you can't read the damn thing. It's really, really, really bad. Somehow I think they skipped beta testing on the display. Hopefully they will have some updates to it. So it's so bad actually to the point that I'll give you my little pro tip for wanting to get out and about and shooting is use the quick capture mode. That is, you can go into it in the menu. I go into it in a different video, so if you're asking what's quick capture mode, check out some of my other videos. Turn that on and then get your video into whatever setting you want to use it and shut off your camera. What makes that so valuable is that when you just want to start recording and you're in a bit of a hurry, you just hit the shutter button, you hold it, and it will automatically just open up into the last setting that you set in the video mode, and that is great. Now, I do that because it's very hard for me to change modes 50 frames per second to 30 frames per second or 100 frames per second out in the field because the display is so bad. But the quick capture mode has been a godsend on many occasions. I suggest if you're gonna do a lot of stuff where you can't really take a lot of time to transfer modes, pick a mode in your video, quick, put the settings in. I like to use the 4K 50 frames per second. It's very versatile, looks very good. Get that in advance before you go out into the field because more than likely you're not gonna be able to read your display, and even the app is difficult to read because the font is so tiny and I'm like, why? I can't read this, but the display is this big. Yeah, it's kind of a pain, but it's been 5 months. I have put this thing through everything. I have gone hiking with it. I have gone backcountry, cross-country skiing with it. I've been on the back of a dog sled with it. And the footage is awesome. The footage, it blows my mind. For 400 bucks, this thing has the greatest footage. The form factor of it is awesome. There are so many things about this camera that I see why everyone else was talking so highly about it. There are just several things that are really annoying about it, so be prepared. Do I now recommend the camera for people after these 5 months? In a way, my overall opinion hasn't changed. If you're just a fun user of it, then absolutely, this is a great camera. You do have to be prepared. The accessories won't come in, yada, 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 but it's a good functioning 360 camera. I can't think of a camera I would recommend in the 360 department more than this. Now, when it comes to a professional, I would change my recommendation now to, if you're a professional, yes, actually do get this camera and do be prepared for all the problems that are gonna go with it. So as a professional, make sure you put this thing through the paces so you know what its weaknesses are, because when you're a professional, you can't afford to make a mistake when you're out in the field. That will cost you money, embarrass you, ruin your reputation. So if you're a professional, get this camera, but be prepared that it's going to be a little bit more of a challenge to get up and going if you want to use it on the professional level. All right, I guess that's it for now. This is why you should actually buy the Insta360 One X in 2019. I do recommend it. Just be careful. I'm Skojo in 360. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. If you hit that little button on the side, you will get an alert every time I post new content. I love my growing audience. Please hit that subscribe button. Love y'all. I am Skojo in 360. I am gone.